Alright, here we are for round one of the red black discard. One lander on the draw. It's a swamp. Yeah, this is definitely a mulligan. There's no second land, no guarantee that the second land's gonna be a mountain. Pretty easy maul. This hand's also maul, I think. Just no black source. No discard outlet. This hand is pretty bad, but we're gonna try it. I have the ability to at least get an amalgam in my graveyard. Now two amalgams. This is part of the issue with playing a lot of basics. And looks like we're playing against a blue-white deck, so I'm hoping we can draw a red source this turn. There we go. That way I can play the Cathartic Reunion around Spell Queller. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a Haunted Dead. Otherwise, this would be a pretty powerful draw for me. Looks like he just missed a land drop, which is pretty nice. Ooh, we draw Neonate. That's interesting. So I can actually play the Neonate, play the Crypt Breaker, and play the Smoldering Marsh. The question is, I could Fiery Temper something right now, but that would cut me off the ability to Hollow One next turn. So I think we're actually just going to pass. He can just sack the Selfless Spirit no matter what. My one fear of passing here is that he will have Spell Queller mana up, but this deck actually, a lot of the lands he can draw, like Prairie Streams and Port Towns, are going to come into play tapped. So I think we go ahead and just take 4 damage to ensure we can get the Hollow One in play this turn. And he drew an Abbey, so there's yet another card that doesn't allow him to Spell Queller me. So we're going to untap another Fiery Temper. So I suppose what I do is I just bash for 1. Well, yeah, this is fine. Crypt Breaker keeps us in troll. We don't have to Hollow One this turn. And I can't Hollow One and play both the Fiery Tempers. So I think what we do is we just play out the other land. Let's think about this. Make a zombie, and then I have the other Neonate up. Question is, do I want to leave the land in my hand to discard a Crypt Breaker eventually? I don't think so, because I'm going to start probably drawing cards at some point. So let's go ahead and just do this main phase to play around Metallic Rebuke or land for Spell Queller. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the Selfless Spirit. I don't want to give him the option of leaving the Selfless Spirit in play because that just flies over. I could just not. Well, now that I think about it, maybe that's better. I could just not Fiery Temper, and then I can Hollow One. But I can do that all next turn. So it's not really that big of a deal, and he doesn't even really have good attacks, unless he has a Stasis Snare or something. And yeah, holding the Fiery Temper, now I can deal with the Bygone Bishop. So everything's going pretty well here. Cathartic Reunion. It's interesting. Have to pitch the Hollow One to use it. So I think I'd rather just have the zombie in play and the Hollow One in hand than use the Cathartic Reunion. I can always use it later. So what I can do is I can actually just pitch the Fiery Temper and then sacrifice the Neonate. That way I can get the Hollow One in play. And I do want to start pressuring him. He is stuck on lands here. So let's go ahead and do that. Start off with the Fiery Temper on the Bishop. It's going pretty well for a mull to 5, though his draw was bad. And then I attack with Zombie and Neonate. Yeah, I think it's worth getting the it's probably gonna double block Neonate. It's definitely worth getting the Hollow One in play. And the Cathartic Reunion isn't great anyway, so I don't mind filtering through. We drew another hollow one. And this puts a lot of pressure on him, not to mention I'm drawing extras with my Crypt Breakers. I'm not even really afraid of Dusk Dawn here. Yeah, he just scoops. He's too far behind and his mana was too bad, so we ended up kind of mising a win there. Though my draw wasn't anemic for a Multi 5, and I still had the 2 amalgams. So as soon as I drew into... As long as we weren't dead, as soon as I drew into a way of returning those, it'd be pretty good. So we're up against blue-white Monument. And I'm pretty sure we don't really have that much to sideboard here. I think Collective Brutality is pretty medium because it doesn't hit Monument itself. It doesn't really positively get Dusk Dawn. I do think I want Cut. I want some amount of ways of like killing Spell Quellers and Hand Wires and stuff like that so I don't fall too far behind. Scorpion God seems pretty solid as well because it gets around Spell Queller, which is pretty nice. It does play into Rebuke, but I don't know if he's going to leave those in against me, and it can help me beat a Monument draw, but Monument can actually just kind of go around this, huh? So maybe the play is to just board in 1 Cut and maybe 1 Brutality. Like, Lightning Axe is kind of bad against Counter Magic and Spell Queller, but also kind of good against it at the same time. Because I can, like, help break up his draws and have faster draws myself. Maybe Reunion is bad, actually. He's just got so much Counter Magic, probably, post-board. Like, Spell Queller and Rebuke. So I don't mind cutting this for Brutality. This is Brutality is a much safer way of having a discard outlet. So should we cut 2? Probably. For 2 Brutalities. Okay. Actually, I think this is what we're supposed to do. I don't love Brutality, but I think it's probably fine as just like a -2/-2 your guy. This is gonna be a mulligan. Only 1 land. Wow, this hand's not good, but I have a Scry, I have good mana, I have a Cycling Land, and an Amalgam I'm going to keep, and I'm going to top that. It's not a great top because I'm looking for like a discard outlet, but I think with this hand in particular, having something on turn 2 is pretty important because he might be aggressive, but if he's got a slower draw, having the Scrounger is really nice. Also, Scrounger can eventually return my Amalgam, which I think is pretty important to this hand. Play the Scrounger first before the Kenra. If he's got a Monument, we're going to be in trouble. Yeah. Not a great start from us to combat a Monument, but there's not really much I can do. Other than hope he's got a bad hand. Like, we have decent pressure, but the Monument is just going to take over the game. I don't have any Amalgams or anything that's really putting pressure on him. There's a Gideon. Interesting. Another Scrounger. I think I'm just going to attack both with Gideon. It's unfortunate that he gets to just eat both. There's not much I can do, though. I could just attack with 1. It's kind of the same thing, though. He trades one for 1. Maybe I'm supposed to cycle and see if I hit like a Collective Brutality or something. Because I'm going to cycle anyway, so I can return the Scrounger. So I guess we just cycle main phase. Yep, not looking good for us. Is there any reason not to attack with both? Could attack with just this. I do have the Neonate to get put the Amalgam in the graveyard. So we can maybe beat him if he's got like no creatures in his hand. I guess I attack with the Kenra too. Whatever. Force the spirit to die. If I don't attack with both, it doesn't force me to kill the spirit, which means he's just gonna have the spirit available to him for the rest of the game, basically, or at least next turn when he might have more stuff in play. So it actually makes sense, I think, to just attack with both and force the spirit to die. Maybe if we draw like a Fiery Temper or something, we can sneak past the Gideon. Ooh, he has nothing. That is unexpected. So I can Lightning Axe that. He actually might have a Spell Queller, though. It's pretty likely that he has one, and not just nothing. So let's start off by attacking the Gideon. He doesn't know that I can discard the Amalgam. And then we'll just play the Neonate post-combat. If he Spell Quellers that, we get to Lightning Axe it. Oh, wrong land. Oh, can I not undo that now? That's super, super awkward. Oh, that's so bad. I think I'm going to play this land out, though, because I want to be able to return the Kenra. Yeah. Made a little oopsies with my land. Looks like he actually just has nothing. Oh, he's got Cycle Land. Okay. It's looking alright. If he bricks another turn, it's not that likely, but I do have the Lightning Axe, and I do have the Earthshaker Kenra, so we actually do have a line to kill this Gideon. Potentially. Question is, do I... Let's see what I draw first. Another Lightning Axe. Not ideal, but not terrible. So now if I draw any land, I should be able to kill the Gideon. Untap land, that is. And if not, I can try to Lightning Axe it, which is not great. Ooh, that's pretty good. So I can now... I have two options. I can just main phase Lightning Axe the Knight and Fiery Temper the Gideon, and then attack Gideon with both. That plays around Stasis Snare. He didn't play a land last turn, which, since he has the Monument out, he definitely would be playing out lands. I feel like he might have a Rebuke or something, and that's why he isn't really doing much. Could have an Avacyn, which would beat me. But normally these decks don't play Avacyn. They play Cloudblazer / Angel of Invention sometimes. I think we have to go for killing the Gideon. Oh, it's possible he's got another Gideon in this hand, now that I think about it. That makes sense to me. It's just weird that he's also at 15, so almost I could, like, maybe ignore the Gideon. Just attack him, or just the Gideon with the Amalgam, let him have it for one more turn. And then end of turn, I can, like, then Lightning Axe Fiery Temper stuff. Oh, this is really tough. I think the conservative play is to just attack Gideon with both. It's pretty much always right. Oh, I should have done this already. He could have a Stasis Snare, in which case I probably want to Lightning Axe my own guy. Am I ever beating an I am beating an Avacyn if I just attack with, like, these two guys or whatever and don't do anything. Wow, this is, like, really, really confusing. Alright, let's just attack Gideon with both. And see what he does. I think he might have, like, a Spell Queller or something, at least. He does have an Avacyn. Okay, so waiting worked out. Felt like he very likely should have something there. So that's fine. That resolves, and the Avacyn resolves. And with that trigger on the stack, we're going to Fiery Temper that, or Lightning Axe that, discarding Fiery Temper. And then we're going to Fiery Temper the Knight. Okay. So I'm glad I played that patiently. It felt like he definitely had something. So this will get Gideon to 1. And I have a Scrounger coming back. And I still, if I hit a 6 land, I can hard cast Hollow One. Or sorry, I can hard cast Kenra. Sky Sovereign Flagship. That actually doesn't do that much. I'm actually really hoping I draw a land now, because if I do, I can just attack Gideon with both, and if he activates the Sky Ship, I can Lightning Axe it for 6. And also I have the Kenra available to me. That's an interesting draw. So I just attack Gideon with both, right? He has no great blocks. If he activates the Sky Ship, his Gideon's dying. If I Lightning Axe this, then he gets to animate that. I still kill the Gideon, but I actually want to hard cast the Haunted Dead this turn. Okay. Everything's going as expected. I guess the problem with this line is now he can beat me with that Sky Sovereign. But he needs a creature to crew it. Like, he can, I guess, plus the Gideon, but he's got nothing good to kill. So maybe we just pass. I don't hate that play. I'm really running low on time here, because every decision is really difficult for this deck. The Haunted Dead is nice, though, because the Spirit threatens the Gideon itself. And then, yeah, alright. Well, maybe not. Okay, I'm just going to play the Haunted Dead. My board is just too meager without it, I think. And when it's in my graveyard and I have an empty hand, it takes me multiple turns to get the Haunted Dead online. And if he's got nothing, this is like a really solid play. Hoping he doesn't have another Avacyn. I think he'd very likely have another Gideon. He's got a Spell Queller. It's kind of unfortunate. Because I can't really axe anything. Otherwise he gets the Sky Ship, so he gets to eat my Spirit. Oh, he's going to crew that. It's kind of what I want him to do. Really wish I could have drawn a land on any of these turns, but I'm going to kill that. Gideon's going to go down. We have 2 Scroungers. He's got Stasis Snare. It's still going to kill the Gideon unless he's got another spell. He does get to eat Haunted Dead, which is pretty annoying. But that actually gives me 2 creatures in my graveyard for Scroungers. Yeah, but he's just got the Monument out and is going to take over the game. It's not really that much I can do about it. Yeah, I'm going to exile the Haunted Dead, I suppose, and not the other one. If I draw a land, return the Kenra. Just hope he's on, like, basically nothing, but we've been hoping he's on nothing the whole game, and he's had, like, just enough. Kind of unfortunate. Scrounger's going to die, sure. I wonder if... Alright, that's going to be game. I wonder if I want... This card is actually not good against me. Like, it was good against me that game, but I actually wonder if I should, like, counterboard against his, like, going really control-y plan. Like, for instance, Mindbender and Chandra both seem pretty good against his sideboard plan. Though now that we're on the play, I think I just want all the brutalities. Lightning Axe was good, but drawing all 3 was obviously a tiny bit awkward. These Kenras don't seem great because they just kind of... He gets a lot of creatures. And they all block the Kenra pretty well, and it's not great against Spell Queller and whatnot. I'm trying to figure out if I want Mindbender or Chandra. Chandra's pretty good if he's got, like, against any draw where he's running out, trying to stick a Gideon or trying to, like, stick a Monument when I'm on the play. Mindbender is, like, pretty good against the Gideon, Stasis Snare, Avacyn control plan. Though it's just so much resources for me to commit. And he can still counter this with a... I think he probably sided out the counter. If he's got Gideon, he might not even have Metallic Rebuke. A lot of people are playing Gideon instead. Still not really sure about Chandra. Part of the sideboarding with this deck is, like, you don't want to change the core of the deck too much. Just a few cards to sort of change your angle of attack without neutering your deck. I think I'll cut a Lightning Axe for a Chandra. I think when I'm on the play, I actually don't like Lightning Axe as much because I kind of want to get out on the board and start just killing him. So, but we'll leave in 2 as discard outlets and ways of killing Spell Queller quickly. I'm going to keep... Double Reunion is a little bit awkward, but I do have Amalgam plus Scrounger, which can be interesting. See what we draw here. If we draw a Haunted Dead, that would be awesome. We draw a Hollow one. So now I kind of just think we play Scrounger. Because next turn we can Cathartic Reunion and get the Hollow one into play. If we draw any untapped land. Not sure about the Mindbender, but I think I'm going to leave it in my hand. Okay, we did draw the untapped land. My hand is really poor now, though, which is kind of unfortunate. If he's got a Stasis Snare, we could be in trouble. I don't have a second black source. So we really need to draw a land here. It's possible I should have left... Yeah, maybe I should have left that other Reunion in my hand. Land would be huge. Okay. That's big. It wasn't a swamp, but I can't really complain. Because I get to resolve Chandra. The question is, do I just kill the Spell Queller? It's going to just attack Chandra anyway, and I have the Fiery Temper in my hand. So I think this is a reasonable play. He's at 10, and I have the Fiery Temper to burn. Also, like, I have the Amalgam in my graveyard. So if I draw... Like, if the Scrounger dies, you know, I get to just kind of bash in. Any 5-drops I can draw? Hollow one, so I suppose I play the land first. Insolent Neonate. Okay, I'll definitely cast that. Didn't Spell Queller it. This is nice because he can't really trade with the Chandra that... Or he can't really trade with the Scrounger that effectively. You could have a Spell Queller here. It's unlikely he's got a Snare. So I think we just pass. There's the Spell Queller. Somewhat interesting. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just kill the Selfless Spirit right now. That way, if he wants to kill Chandra, he's got to attack it with his Spell Queller, which is going to mean it's going to be tapped. Also, I could draw like a Lightning Axe or another Fiery Temper to kill the Spell Queller as well. could discard the Amalgam, but I think this makes more sense. Especially if we draw another Fiery Temper, then we have the mana to actually kill the Spell Queller. Hopefully we draw something good off this. A Swamp. Okay, that's not terrible. Because it allows me to get my Scrounger into the graveyard, which is pretty important. Leaves me open to a Dusk Dawn, but I don't think that card is actually that good. So it might not be in his deck. Okay, it looks like he doesn't have an Avacyn, which is nice. Another Fiery Temper. So maybe I should have discarded this Amalgam. Like, it's going to be stuck in my hand pretty much this entire game. If I would have discarded it to the Neonate, then I'd be in much better shape here. God, the Mindbender is just so medium. I don't want to give away that I have the Fiery Temper, so I think I should just fire this at Gideon. Probably both at Gideon. That way, if he doesn't block, I get to kill it with Fiery Temper. Oh, he's just gonna... Ooh. Maybe this Grounder should have went at him. He might have another one, though, and we get to peel it out of his hand. It's a Bygone Bishop. Okay. So the Mindbender a little late to the party, but if he doesn't draw anything this turn, we're beating him down. Wonder if he's scooped. If he drew a land, though, he can Abbey. I guess he can't really beat this Grounder plus the Amalgam at 7 life. He probably should have played it out, though. If he draws like a Cloud Blazer or something, another Fiery Temper on top definitely just wins me the game, I think. All right. Close match.